my expectations, I don't know where I place them now.
Well, I mean, my expectations lies with this was the most talked about Valorant team in the world, right? We talk about dominance, we talk about Sentinels elsewhere. Vision Strikers, the one we haven't seen it yet on the international stage, and that's what I want to see right now.
They had 107 games undefeated, 20 events in a row. That was leading toward Reykjavik,
Madness.
and then obviously the disaster struck, and you saw everyone just blown away. But we're into this, and Paper Rex, I mean, these guys going to have to really bring it out. And the man on your screen right now, Forsaken, has to be critical at doing that.
He will be the cornerstone to any success they find today. Divine going to fall. Actually, Vision Striker's going to freeze for a moment. A's wide open right now, and there's no anchor or Cypher utility over there to defend this, so it's going to be looking like a wide open site and a retake attempt here for Paper X at least. Nobody actually on the move just yet, so nobody even going to stop this spike from going down. No damage to come through.
This is full retake territory, and again, this is Vision Striker's choice, if I'm not mistaken, and again, Icebox coming in second. I think most people who've been watching, I saw Chobra out from the Korean region going, this could be a speed run, boys. I've seen Icebox. I'm like, ooh, it could be. But this is what I want to look at Paper X. I want to see what they can bring. Again, for now, we have to look at the closer detail. The playbacking from Benkai, not going to go well. Lovely little deeper angle to be held. Vision Strikers look composed. Forsaken, can he be a game changer in this? No, not yet. King finds it. Yeah, this is very well. So no one's over peaking. No one's being nervous. Because again, we have to treat Vision Strikers almost with a little bit of bated breath. We don't know quite what they're like yet on international stage, but so far, ticking the box.
I mean, perfect example there. That's the byproduct of having so much time and space to come in. Freedom, there's all these complementary angles, the utility usage, perfect. I mean, even actually the time to find Benkai there before it's even a threat, before it even becomes a threat. It's still just so clinical for Vision Strikers there. And again, that's based on 10-15 seconds. We take a freeze, we pause, we reconsider. No pressure elsewhere. A's wide open.
Yeah. And Paper X, again, I've watched a couple of their games. Kind of looked through it. Forsaken is a standout. I want to see how he looks against bigger players, because we're going to see, oh, look at this push coming in. The flash was fantastic. The follow-up is going to basically mean everyone is blind right now. There is just zero vision here, all in the corner. Look, I don't mind trying something around like this. You've got to try and make something work. Why not go for it? It did get them one kill, not quite enough to really write home about, but, you know, a solid attempt.
Absolutely, just well handled by Vision Strikers. The response there with the fault line as well. Nobody's getting out of cubby. There isn't a hope in hell.
Ain't no way.
Again, as expected, Vision Strikers put the second on the board, and now here really is where we look for them to potentially close out this bonus. Give themselves some early momentum, a bit of a buffer in terms of the finances here. On the side of Paper X, no surprises. Rifles across the board. No real ult progression yet, because we know how both rounds have gone.
Yep. Has it been 2 kills so far for Paper X, right?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure. Now, we'll see how this keeps going. Again, this is a big round for them, but I do imagine the Vision Strikers will be prepared for this. I hope they have, not a plan in mind, but have an approach specifically for rounds like this, where maybe we're on the Spectres, a little light to purchase up against the Rifles. And for now, it looks like a little bit of a lean towards Garage, but on that, let's see where that first bit of utility gets invested. Looking like clearing towards Garage, at least for now. And yeah, Buzz is straight on through. This is oh, that's a gorgeous flash. Divine fully blinding Buzz, and there's going to be a response going to lean in towards this C piece. But for plenty of players here, Benkai and Mindfreak really well handled. Gorgeous work from the back of the site on the plateau. And we're down to just one, and there it is. First on the board in response, and a needed one. 3 alive as well.
Really, really well played round, actually. I think that was Mindfreak who backed up and actually used the utility against them. And fantastic play from Buzz there to split through from B. I think actually there was a flash come through from RB just inside the Garage window. But again, really, really well played there to back away. Sorry, it was Mindfreak over on plat. Mistaken there with Devi actually all the way over in the spawn that managed to catch that and completely
nice
shut
flash.
that down. Again, that split, if it goes for another 3 seconds or so, Vision Strikers are in there, and they have all the actually the back angles from spawn towards C site. Yeah,
that could have been a game changer. So the difference is palpable. Forsaken again,
taking
space.
Again, yeah.
We saw this, as said, in that kind of, round where everyone was blinded over on C-Long. But again, I like showing this. I like seeing that. And look at the response off the back of it.
Well, particularly on a map like Haven, again, we look to Forsaken to be kind of that valuable impact player on defense, more so than attack, right? Again, we can talk about drawing rotations and whatnot, but I say King, be careful there on the cross. The lockdown will get invested here. real chance to stop that right now, and Sheba's kind of stuck in cubby.
Forsaken's going for this. The flash was sent in, he's going for it. He absolutely is favouring himself, and why not? He's actually taken one down, takes down the ult, but will lose life. Buzz on the way around, and Buzz gives him the drive-by. 3 quick kills, and the site is theirs. And once again, in this buy round, where we've had these more even purchases, they're barely losing a player.
No, it's unlucky there, really. I mean, Sheba gets isolated. Forsaken actually comes there to try and bail him out, deal with the lockdown, but the contingency in place for Vision Strikers completely shuts that down. Mindfreak just opted to hold on to this, try and get something done in the next round. But again, I'm liking what I'm saying. At least in the early round here, the response from Vision Strikers here is perfect. There's a little bit of presence shown, a little bit of utility shown on C Long. Straight away, they look to try and pressure towards A.
And even on the flip side of things, to talk about how PaperX are looking, I still like the aggressive nature from Forsaken. I think trying to find the right balance of that is always going to be difficult. I mean, Vision Strikers are no slouches, but I like the fact he's trying it. That push up C Long, the re-aggress towards Sewer, denying the ult. I mean, it's a hard balance. And they're coming into this as someone who's playing up against a pretty heavily favoured side. So continue that aggression, continue that confidence. It's very impressive, but his Buzz just pretty much saying, nah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously the concerns for Forsaken cross-region, can we expect him to have the same impact against arguably a much more structured but also reactive team like Vision Strikers? And it's difficult to find those solo opening duels. Like, Vision Strikers aren't going to give you a 1v1. I mean, we saw previous in that first attempt on C Long, it was like 4 people stacked up, flashed. Again, you're never finding 4 kills versus Vision Strikers in the first 10 seconds.
So again, speaking of aggression, a different look for Forsaken this time, heading over towards A short through the sewers, flash to follow. So a different start, but still to the same intent.
Yeah, but this is the thing. The biggest winkage for them is him being unorthodox, unexpected, keeping Vision Strikers guessing. And actually, you're seeing them take a step back in the early round here. They're investing a little bit of utility, sending out some fact finders to figure out if PaperX are going to continue with this going forwards.
And so far, all they've really heard is that Sheriff. At the moment, I don't think they've heard much more than that, and I think they are definitely trying to piece together whatever picture they can find from this, because there's a bit of a death ball on the other side. You've got kind of 3 players just looming around.
They are mitigating Forsaken by doing this. It's actually a perfect counterplay. The hardest thing for PaperX is going to be repeating that success and finding value with it consistently.
Yeah, jump peek now made. How many players can they get on the side quickly enough? Keep in mind, there are rifles out here, and there's one of them. The Bulldog bites, and Buzz goes down on his own as well. Not really able to get on through on this one, but there's the burst. Now everyone's here, and Forsaken, that's a huge one for the boys. But that was very unorthodox as a round, though. Look how proactive the defensive side were in that.
Forsaken's from A, he's all the way back through Spawn, he's back through Garage, and then when the hit comes through, actually, PaperX have done fantastically to at least, have feelers in place where they're not sensing any of this pressure, and I think they anticipate that C hit perfectly. And actually, initially, I think obviously Buzz gets all the way to logs, and his Benkite is able to live inside his cage for long enough where it completely shuts that down before it gets going. But really, really nice response from PaperX. That's a big positive in my eyes for them to have such a good grasp on exactly what Vision Strikers are trying to do effectively with no information, other than the feelers that Vision Strikers send out, which is potentially a Sky Flash or Breach potentially, sending a fault line out in the early round. But really, really good response there from PaperX.
Yeah, and it does seem as though we do have a tech pause, so we get to show off the lovely floor. It's so nice that they, just for us, they made this entire graphic.
I heard that was, they heard we were coming, and production said we're going to need something fancy for when Hypoc and Pansy get up on the mic.
That's it.
Shout out production. It does look great, though.
Like, who thought you could actually make a tech pause look kind of exciting?
I think we've done that a few times. We've had a few really good tech pauses.
We have.
In our time.
Got the dancing, got the moves coming.
That intro was. I'm so glad Sean picked up on it. I was really worried for a second. I was like, oh, do we need to cut? Do we need to cut
is
to
he having a
another
problem?
camera?
Oh, what's that? Is that a dab? Oh, God.
Lucky that was out of focus. Actually,
thank you, cameraman. Whoever you were, you knew what was up. You could sense it coming a mile off. But yeah, hopefully they'll get this one fixed up as soon as, and we'll be jumping right back on it. It'll be no issue. I'm sure it's just get yourself situated on stage again, get all the gear working, get everything comfortable as you can. And for now, it looks like once again, already at this point, we can see that aggression being toyed with. And this combination, I love this little, Skyjet combo. You're basically the 1-2 punch, right? If you get that synergy correct, you can do some real damage. And it looks like you're going right back into this.
Get out of my way!
Buzz popped the blade still off the rib. He's got the Sheriff, but rifles across the board elsewhere. Again, PaperX looking to get aggressive. I'm loving this, Lauren. Again, they come through. Actually, Vision Strikers again going to adjust their setup, but This is a lot slower in the first 10 seconds once again for Vision
They're
Strikers.
still pushing. They got noted by utility.
So
the assumption
ballsy.
would be that you'd back away, but Forsaken is bold. And he does at least stick around for now. And it's a chess game between these guys.
It is, but it takes a lot for PaperX to do this, to run the gauntlet effectively for 12 rounds. But so far, Vision Strikers aren't exactly stamping it out. They're not kind of dealing with this effectively. It's, again, freezing for 15 to 20 seconds. Forsaken, again, going to be first point of contact here. Got to be careful, though, because it's Stacks and Buzz.
Bit of a foreboding feeling about this one. Forsaken, can you get it right? That's the first. The Flash, he eats it, but he's got time to adjust now. Looks towards Long, and there's still one more, but it's short. That's got the pressure. Device got his back, but only for so long. Forsaken hits the turn, gets a second, but look at these trades. Stack's going to come right back in on that trade. The site is now theirs. Vision Strikers will get the spike down, and it could be retake time now.
You know, actually, Benkai and Mindfreak miles away from my site. Shiba up in heaven now. A couple of audio cues, but with the Cosmic Divide going up, it's going to make it increasingly difficult here for PaperX to fight back through. I'm just looking, actually, that the counter divide popped as well, so creates a crossfire here. Benkai actually going to swing through. He finds the first off the Stack. The double swing's good, but look at that from RB.
Yeah, the Flash as well. Not a hope in hell. RB, brilliant sign to be shown there. Very well handled.
And a lot invested in that, actually, for PaperX to still go for that. But, again, Benkai here. I'm not entirely sure how he actually still came through and won that one with RB. It looked like he was a little slow to react, but definitely cleans up towards the end there. Again, Sky so useful in that scenario with the Cosmic Divide going up. Once everybody swings one side, perfect opportunity to find that Flash.
Money-wise, you can see the bank starting to be a little hit here. PaperX is going to start feeling that pinch. Forsaken, though, unrelenting. He's got the armor to boot as well.
How deep Vision Strikers having to play for this. It's a constant threat every single round. The fault line comes through. It's perfect, actually. Forsaken, I can get away. I'm pretty sure the sound cue revealed, though.
This is almost like two different games completely. You have early round where it's find Forsaken, quell that aggression, and then we can start going. You're down to a minute before really Vision Strikers start trying to aggress anywhere, which is absolutely reasonable. And Seeker's going to come down. Now, where do they work off this? Towards A, so that kind of shifts things away from Forsaken being the tip of the spear, more towards Shiba.
Shiba now got it all to do, but immediately dealt with. Rolling Thunder comes through. Clear out the site entirely because this utility usage. There's no possibility for anyone to play on site with that execute coming through. Pixel perfect from Vision Strikers.
I love a good anti-eco, but I also love to see that Forsaken. 11 HP, but he's still feeling brave enough to go for it. Why not try and make a play? But it's now pretty much impossible as Kings found him. And Mindfreak, last one alive. Maybe a bit of damage would be lovely. No, they've still got utility for a post-plant. You're not getting much in. Yeah. You ain't getting much in, are you?
Mindfreak's still going to find something on the exit RB, though. Holding it down with the turret to boot as well. I think he's going to be able to remove any more of these weapons, but keep talking about it here. I mean, I'm so impressed so far with Forsaken, and actually PaperX as a whole, the support system in place to try and enable him, try and get him moving in the early round and find some success. But the problem is, we talk about how repeatable that is, right? You have to constantly be, you know, innovating, and the variation that you can achieve is only really dictated by what Vision Strikers give you. And so far, I think Vision Strikers, like I've already said, risk management-wise, they are completely negating that in the early round.
Yeah, I think a lot of us kind of, it's a big tick in the box. It's a really big accolade to be that kind of versatile, defensive-sided, aggressive Opper or Jet or however you want to play it. But it's really not easy to find, as you said, repeatable success with it. It is very, very difficult. And when you can master it, it's incredibly impressive. But a different look here, a faster piece at least to begin with. But Forsaken, a C lean to start with. Op is out, but pressure shown towards A early on. That's a difference, though. Forsaken with the opener.
And it's much slower this time, right? And that's the key thing. Vision Strikers now have adjusted their default. They have somebody in place to greet any C-long aggression, but this time it's actually Forsaken solo over on that site, and he's crept. There's no utility to enable him, he's just walking.
But I also like that you can have that solo player and kind of cheat the additional over off the back of having the op, but there we go. So, in response, going to invest the ultimate. Should be a bit of an issue now, as PaperX do need to evacuate the site, can't really stick around. And it does still feel like Vision Strikers are having their way on the site hits at least. It's so beautifully scripted, choreographed. Every piece of this utility is perfectly placed. Plant will be coming in, and once again, we're in the post-plant.
Again, King gonna tuck into the corner by Graffiti it. Well, it's going to be so difficult to break this hold once again, but
the
man advantage here, yeah. They can play the entry trade, could go their way.
An effective trade would be great, but that's the big issue. Buzz going to find Devi already, and Forsaken, it's flashy, it's bold, it's brave, but it's got you nothing. And now just Mind Freak left alive, and this post plant will not be moved, it will not be rocked, and Vision Strikers showing that again and again, we can't look at these guys like they're brand new to a stage almost. We've been waiting for them to come to these events. It feels like it's been a long time in the making. And bear in mind, the team that surprised everyone by besting them ended up third in Reykjavik. This is the caliber we're talking about. This isn't a, oh, they might do well in group stage. No. This should be a deep run team. So that's the kind of lay of the land, and they're playing to that standard now.
Absolutely. This is another example here on the buy round where particularly, I mean, Vision Strikers don't even need to fight for A site, right? And yes, more often we're seeing it in at least pro play where teams don't necessarily stack up and fight to the death to hold on to A site. But it's interesting to see there that again, Buzz and King just able to set up one of the most difficult, crossfires to dig out on any map in Valorant is that one between Hell and Graffiti. And I mean, there it garnered them 3 kills, no real entry back of it, even with the chaos of those flashes coming up. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody behind default was blind for at least 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
But still, as soon as that drops, but as if PaperX now maybe reconsidering their approach. And again, yes, positives, but we haven't seen that value from Forsaken. And for me, I look towards the defensive half to find, at least, a few rounds where they can catch him off guard. And this was a first blood. Did it really alter the course of that round? No, it didn't, because the lockdown clears out. They don't necessarily need smokes to cut off those angles. They have, obviously, Buzz and the Cloudburst to get through, but it didn't impact, how well-oiled that execute onto A side was.
And again, I think this just plays to the tune of how good Vision Strikers can be. A player lost, they are still just fine. They're aware of that. They can still hit that execute with the ultimate in place. However, they don't have any of that now. Stack's not too far off, I guess. That could be something manageable. On the other side, we do have Benkai sitting with his, but not really an instigating piece. And maybe Shiba can finally get his going. Forsaken.
Again, look at Vision Strikers, man. They're sat there waiting for it.
Yeah, it's... Again, you're not going to keep getting away with it. And Vision Strikers are happy to do not necessarily late hits. I don't look at them as... Shout out to everyone who knows what I'm about to say, the Na'Vi-esque hits, right? Like, they don't leave it down to the 20, 30 seconds and less. It's
the FPX hits.
Truly.
Speak the language.
It could be Na'Vi soon, Who knows? No. Again, I don't think they're just classically that team. I think we're just seeing versatility. They're showing that they can do this if we are forced to do it, if it's the best option. They're playing to the correct percentages right now, hitting about that 45-second marker, but they don't know what they're quite up against. It is Marshals, it is Sheriffs, and it's the B site now being taken. Spike in, he doesn't mind, he's blind as anything, he can't see what's around him, and Devi will start to lean in, but he's not feeling so well equipped for this.
No, Sheriff in hand again. Potential to look for one kill. We'll find Buzz actually, just as that smoke does bloom, but again, the weaponry going to make it difficult here. Benkai slowly creeping, but Stack still in place to greet him from the other side. He will do just that. Man. They're so clean. This is, I love a good, clean anti-eco. A well-played out piece. No one's overstepping, no one's opening up opportunities. Again, someone like Mind Freak, I'm sure would love another easy pick. Someone maybe the
feeling a
damage
little bold.
control is perfect, though.
Exactly. You think their economy's not going to be out of place at all. Their utility's always going to be flush. It's perfect. They play a near-on perfect game here.
And this is the thing, actually, in terms of the rhythm of the game, anti-eco-wise, you'd expect Vision Strikers to be like, okay, guys, they haven't got good guns, let's lean a little heavier forwards, but still, they anticipate the PaperX are going to try and push a little deeper, right? And the problem is now, we get to the point where there's a round deficit, so... How much more do we see PaperX explore those possibilities in the early round without just getting shut down? I mean, effectively, this becomes... mathematically won in the first half if it gets any worse than it is now, Lauren.
Yeah, off we go. Devi's toying with the concept, but he does have Forsaken there with him towards B, and you can see him trying to be mobile here, leaning towards A. You know, the Vision Strikers are very well versed in this A piece. It's probably one of the most telegraphed pieces we've seen out of them, and it definitely caught everyone's attention. But here we go. Right place. Is it the right time? On the corner, there it is. First blood now drawn, but here comes that sight hit that is known to be so deadly, so hard to handle, but Forsaken is still alive, but for how long? He's got problems. Surrounded, still standing though. Shorts being held back for now. Utility put back in, and Device says hello! 3 huge kills down on Sewer, and finally, Vision Strikers have been dealt with! Perfect response, and it comes in just in the nick of time.
I was talking about it's the first time we've seen them actually on the buy round fight for A site. Again, Vision Strikers try to force through the role. We've done it, and actually, credit to Forsaken once again. But Divide coming up huge with these 3 kills down towards Sewers. Absolutely shut that down before it could get going. And then now, yes, with that success on A site, we're actually going to see Benkai over here invest his utility. Maybe play a bit of an anchor role here. So once again, look for Forsaken elsewhere on the map now to try and find an opener and find a first blood. With Devi actually showing a little presence out of mid. He's going to actually walk this. Oh, did he get spotted? He did. Buzz finds him.
I hate to ask the question, well, what does Paper X look like without Forsaken now? Sheba's had a quiet game. Could do with a bit more here for him. Would you dare do it? No. Sheba, well done. Finds Buzz, couldn't quite make it out. If he got the follow-up, fair play to you. But this looks like more of a reactive piece. They've now had the entry in towards that C side. They've got everyone in the right place they need. Mindfreak sees one, but it's not the one in front you got to worry about. It's the one to the side. It's the old Velociraptor style. Now, at this point, Benkai, what are you going to do? I mean, a 1v4. Have you heard the story?
Show me.
Show me the money.
Talk me through it.
It's not this round.
Next
King's just fine, and Vision Strikers right back on track.
Yeah, all but a formality at this point, it feels like, for Vision Strikers. King having an absolute blinder on that Killjoy. 15 and 6, leading the charge for them. You see just here, Operator Barrel was spotted out. Again, it's one of the snowball effect, right? As soon as that first blood comes through for Vision Strikers, they're so quick. They're so quick to kind of capitalize on that and actually just be reactive to I guess, reading the setup, right? And then a number of times we've seen Forsaken be the solo on one side, the solo peak at the start of the round. And there where he actually finds that open onto the Operator Bay, which is Forsaken. They know that adds this potentially a weaker site with him potentially being the anchor.
Yeah. Now, just seems to be a little bit of a tech timeout. Maybe we get to see that nice floor.
Well, yeah, obviously Buzz was facing a wall. Did stop moving for a moment. I did see on the player cams a little bit.
Again, there's a couple of others you can run through. G2 at one point. I mean, Fish 1, 2, 3. There's so many teams that had that run for a while. But yeah, once you get red, everyone looks at you. And speaking of looking at one, it will be Forsaken trying to make the moves here. Instantly trying to have impact early on. And same can be said for Sheba, with no reward.
Yeah, Hunter's Fury invested. No information even gathered on the back of that. Buzz and RB sitting just outside lobby. And again, that first 20 seconds goes through. Vision Strikers now. I'm going to probe a little bit. Some fact finders sent out. Sheba unnoted as of yet. Look at this now. Again, Vision Strikers get nothing, and their reaction to this is actually, guys, they're waiting for us to push in here. Let's drift back towards A side.
Back to our default.
And look what's happened. Forsaken's pulled away from A. Sheba initially was on A as well, but they've got nothing here. So Forsaken potentially going to be in a 1v5.
You laugh now, he's seen it. Oh, he's actually swung it! Never doubt Forsaken, this guy's coming up with it. That's 2 huge kills. And for Vision Strikers, they were so unaware. And look at what he's got to work with. He's still trying to work on. He's got a Spectre in the back pocket if he needs it now, but he needs support on the way. And Vision Strikers, well, you've lost a fair amount. You haven't been slowly working the other pieces of the map, so you're kind of funneled here.
Indeed, as Paper X looks to get closer and closer, and actually Forsaken going to get one of these upgrades in lobby. Benkai will find that information on. Mindfreak will find one on the site here. Benkai cannot stop the spike from going down, but Forsaken in the back line here, Lauren.
This is all his. It's got to be. He sees it. He takes it. Forsaken needs this round. He's going to do it for his side. RB trying to pull that attention. Flash comes in. Nah, not gonna get it. Shiva's right there. Forsaken just sitting that defuse. And finally, look, we said it. Well, he's got to deal with 5. That's gonna be super difficult. Apparently not.
Best of a bad scenario for me for this to be 8-4. It gives them a fighting chance at least. And a good opportunity to see exactly what we're talking about. What do we see from Vision Strikers here? What's the precedent they want to set in the first couple of rounds? Well,
let's find out what Baller made of that first half. He's going to be standing by to talk you through something that caught his attention.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this game so far in this first half. There's so much fun stuff happening, both on the Paper Rec side and that Vision Striker side. So we're going to take a look at a round that happened just a few rounds ago, and we'll see the aggression that Paper Rex actually has. So let's go ahead and roll the clip and watch how they take a lobby control up at the beginning of this. They go ahead and place a smoke down. That's actually Astra all the way back over towards the C site, but she's supporting. There's Sky flashing through, trying to affect some sort of response from Vision Strikers. And when they realize, oh, there's actually people there, they're going to go ahead and back out all the way. So there's going to be Forsaken who stays here, but you see, after a little while, they call him back because they actually, pause it right now. They actually think that right here, you see this breach? Let's zoom in a little bit. They think that he's about to go ahead and send a Rolling Thunder across the entire site. So while they're waiting for that, he actually sets up to play very aggressively down on C Long. Let's go ahead and roll it here. He has, of course, Divide to send in flashes if he wants to down below, and he does that, but plays aggressively onto that. So Stax has no chance to put that Rolling Thunder down. Let's go ahead and watch that from his POV because he's full blind actually when he does that. Pause when he gets flashed right here. Where do you think he's going? He's going forward, and he's full blind while he's doing that. Go ahead and roll it. He'll get one more kill as King tries to come up on the flank. But from there, you really see Vision Strikers able to still adapt because the site still was theirs. Stax was able to get the trade. Now pause here. I really, really like this Astro Wall from Mako down below in sewers. He's kind of safe while he puts that down, but look at what it allows, this big Astro Wall. There are 2 little zones right here that you can actually hide in. One right in the cubby, and then also one right underneath the tower. This is so good from them because they set up a massive crossfire. Go ahead and roll it a little bit, just a little bit. Stax is going to get into the cubby by Graffiti, and then you have, of course, down below, you have the other player, that's RB, who's ready with Stax to have a crossfire. Go ahead and roll it. We'll roll it into the entire time. You guys remember what Stax did here, and RB. This crossfire really, really hard to deal with if you're Benkai, if you're Mind Freak right here, who's just behind. There's Mind Freak, there's Benkai. They're going to try to push their way through, but it's impossible when you have this lineup of Stax and RB together, and you can duck your way. Pause it right here. You can duck your way in and out of this Astro Wall. No way that you could do much. Another flash comes out, and Shiba's gone. There's no chance for Vision Strike for Paper Rex to hold on in this case, and that's the end of the rounds. These are the types of things that both sides are really doing and jockeying for position. That mid-round from Vision Strikers was fantastic, and I expect to see some defensive setups because that was a post plant. So basically you're switching the side up on this second half. Pansy and Hypoc, that's going to be really hard to deal with if you're Paper Rex.
Yeah, I think it was great to look back through that as well, kind of slow it down piece by piece, because it stood out to us even when we were in the game, but great to look back there, so thanks for that one. Coming into the second half, though, let's kind of bring in the expectations. Let's kind of see where we're at. It's 8-4. Now, I would say Vision Strikers have looked strong. I think even in the losses, they've looked competitive as well. It's, again, for Paper Rex, we've seen some brilliance coming out from Divide, from Forsaken. Where else are we seeing it, Hypoc?
I'm going to sound like a broken record here.
Go on, do it.
Let's see what Forsaken can do. No, I'm joking. But you make a good point. I'm looking for Mind Freak. I'm looking for Shiba. I'm looking for Benkai to maybe have a little more impact now than what we saw from them on defense, because Divide and Forsaken, key stakeholders on defense. We saw a lot of plays set around that, but speaking of that, actually thought potentially Forsaken was just going to go all the way on to B side, but he sent out some feelers there, and a fault line from back site, actually, from Stax is what slows that down. Paper Rex will sit back for a moment here. Pretty much 1-3-1 here. You've got Buzz over towards A Long, and King on the C site with his turret as well, watching that garage cross. So Paper Rex in the right spot here, and the dash through. Nothing greeted on the other side.
How funny.
It's a bit of a fake here. I think actually he's going to try and wrap into A-Link and come on the back of this A site hit.
But they're not fully biting on the fact that we have one player here.
Like, there's nobody here, guys.
Might as well actually do this now. Screw it, come back around. But does anything go astray? Now they're going to flash out on A long. Just saw that go through from the sky, obviously on the defensive side, which will be RB. So here's nothing, knows nothing. Okay, so now we're going towards King instead. All right, so hitting that C side, maybe the audio cues. Forsaken's heard enough to at least give them that indicator, but Buzz is lucky to be alive, but he's going to keep his life for now, and a fight will begin in B. That's to try and cut off those back lines. For now, the spike's still not on the site, and Forsaken, though, has won a critical battle in towards B. King is still alive and kicking, and Vision Strikers, they had problems elsewhere, but they held the site. It's all theirs again, these guys. There was so much pressure. They lost B territory, the rotations were heard, and they were still fine.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, we talked about this a couple of times on defense, right? Vision Strikers are just happy to sit back and go, okay, if you want to try and pinch A, go for it. And actually, the contingency was almost King finding some kills before he dies on C site, right? Because they know that that's going to be the focus, effectively, when that site, B hit doesn't come through. And what does he do? He finds 2 kills from back plat after he's revealed by the recon bolt and gets flashed out of that Astra smoke.
And even just staying alive that long is such a nuisance. Yes. They can't dig him out. Everything's being... Forsaken. Watching this guy play, man. He's ballsy. I like it. He's a gutsy player. But I'm looking at Garage as well, and already they're starting to build up quick. King might be caught off guard this time. Yeah. Jumping classics. Never nice to deal with. Stacks gonna just kind of lean into this one. Yeah, it actually really is when Forsaken hits him on the drive-by. What is that, Forsaken? Please. Now, they have recovered 2 guns. They have 0 armor. This was like classics, and that was it.
Yeah. Still got a flash here, though. But potential to get something done, but Mind Freak going to shut him down. RB, last man standing here, and a ghost in hand will find one.
It's still doable. Look at the armor. Look at what they've actually got. RB could have done some more damage.
Gonna give it up, though.
What is this round? This is the least Vision Strikers thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, actually, it's so uncharacteristic to see that happen.
Paper Thin's losing more of his hair.
He's not got much left.
I know, it's dire times.
What falls out after that? The facial hair, the eyebrows? It becomes some kind of Tombiz incarnate.
What is this round, Hypok?
Fenkai will find it as well. So 3 upgrades for them. SMG's carried across, and Paper X keep Vision Strikers from stringing 2 together.
What is that? Like,
I want to say, again, look at that. The first headshot there, this drive-by is just...
This is wild. Yeah, fair play.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
So, like, those 2 kills, fair play. The rest of it...
We got this.
Okay, so the energy's still up in the Paper X camp. That's good to see. You'll see them lean heavily towards C long here. A Sheriff and a Frenzy. Sheriff in the hands of Stacks. He's over towards A-Link this time around, setting up a fault line out, but Forsaken with the Blade Storm, looking to pile on the pressure here. King falls immediately.
Just gets flayed alive, just get pushed aside as he does take the site. It's all theirs. They can cross the spike in. They've done very well here. This is very, very quick. What the purchase back, bear in mind, is it's light. It's a Frenzy. It's a Sheriff. It's not much. There's no armor behind it. Odds and ends. Utility, of course, to be looked at too. But for now, Forsaken just going to be stat padding, building that confidence. Right over.
I love it.
Didn't go well in the end, but now ground should be fine. We don't feed more though, do we? We don't lose rifles, do we?
I stopped loving it.
We're not sponsored by that. And now 2 still left, RB and Stacks. I mean, they've got the rifle, at least in Shiba's hands. This makes me so nervous seeing this so blind Mind Freak again. They're doing what they can. Did they get the rifle? I think Stacks did. He can probably just back out from it. Whew.
This is interesting. Again, still 3 rounds to make up, but Paper X turn round 2. And they will double down on that as well, picking up the 3rd in the second half. And actually on the back of Forsaken, once again, closes the distance so quickly. Actually, the one on Buzz was clean as well, finding that headshot.
They're hitting shots, man. It's just... It's weird.
He's got the operator online now. And actually, with that Blade Storm riding through, the way these rounds are played out, he actually still has a 1200 credit buffer, so...
Here's the thing, it's like, I just looked at Vision Strikers and you know, within what we've seen so far, they are so clinical in the way they play, so clean, and actually... See if there's any early aggression off the back of the utility. There isn't to start with. I'm going to make the play off it, but it's just strange seeing them look human and make, not necessarily mistakes, but be dictated to by someone like Forsaken. It's credit to him to do it, but yeah, it really catches your eye. Divide, though, going to start trying to Make that foray towards middle. You do have that little bit of an exchange of utility at the beginning.
The striker's not really shown anything in the early round. Even Buzz on the operator really here. He's over towards C, actually holding down the fort. Actually, also, I didn't even spot that. Actually, RB's tucked into cubby here, so actually a heavily invested setup towards C in terms of the rotation time for RB to get back across with what looks like is imminent, this A site hit from Paper X.
And down to the 40-second timer. Information now found.
Swarm grenade out.
King's on a bit of an island. One to deal with in towards sewer while the rest build up through long. That's great from King.
Perfect.
He doesn't know how much of a value that is.
30
Exactly.
seconds
That
left.
deeper check knows that now he can actually create such a dirty angle for them to try and cross through.
Playing
And they've got
cubby.
problems. That's 20 seconds now. Where do you go?
I guess back through spawn and hope that another
No
site
one-
is open here.
Yeah,
And
no
they might
one's-
try a hit and run on B site, and it's looking like that might be the end goal here, but one kill
10 seconds
potentially can alter this. And
8 seconds. There we go. They just need to try and deny that plant. They can't do it. Forsaken and Mind Freak right to the wire. Buzz is here though. RB as well. They did lose out on King on the way through. Buzz, that is wild as Forsaken comes out the better of it. And now the 1v1. How's it come down to this? Shiva, he's not had the blistering performance you'd want, but he's not to keep his nerve in this one. RB, 3 HP and he's still alive. Shiva, he's done it. That's the confidence builder you need, and they are right back in this game.
And actually, with the operator purchase, I know it was probably about 2,200 overall, but Vision Strikers, I mean, now faced with, do we force back into this? Do we make an attempt to stop this momentum building? Looking like actually might just be, I mean, they're sat in a scenario where they can throw Sheriffs, potentially some utility, potentially some light armors, but again, seeing Vision Strikers are a little hesitant, at least to fight for some of this territory, at least clear it out with some utility in the early round here, Lauren, and that was, again, really, that leans towards Paper X's success, at least on attack here. Dare I say they're looking a little rattled?
We haven't seen what they look like under pressure, really. Especially in these environments, I think is the only way to really categorize that. So, could be a good test. What a credit to how Paper X are playing. The resilience coming back in after what was actually a very tricky half. The scoreline alone is hard to kind of mentally get around, but let's see how this looks this time. Bit of a different hold over here, but it is just with those Sheriffs, so once again, not really too much to write home about this round. Oh dear, RB, you've been caught, bud. Yeah, there's a swing out. Buzz! 2 gives them just straight up haircut, so that's still damage done. Is there more? Buzz has now got a rifle, finds Forsaken, 6 HP in a bit of a dream. This is now a 2v2. Where's King in this? We've got to look at the next player. Okay, so way deeper towards CT.
You should
gotta
hear
hear
this, though. Look at this.
This is all very audible now, so this should call into attention where Buzz is.
Spike planted.
King, if you can get one.
This camera
if
in mid
King
is
can
huge.
get one. Sheba, the barrel shows. King turns. But now there's the problem. Buzz is noted, does not get the freedom he would have wanted. How does King trying to allow Buzz into this? He needs more, gets the tag, he's got 5 HP. They're both so low now. Benkai and Sheba hold so much of the advantage here, and it's time to go. Buzz gets found, he's put down, put to bed as King now in the 1v2. This would need some sort of magic to come through here. Neither are giving him any step at all. They just need to play that clock out.
Perfect. Absolutely textbook from Paper X. And again, the spy cam position there, this is the importance of having a Cypher that is diligent with utility, right? And again, especially when it comes to that mid-round call, you flex somewhere else on the map and there's that kind of safety net at the end of the round where the spy cam effectively gives away Buzz, who's already done huge work in that round to even make it possible to stop that from happening. And Vision Strike is actually going to pump the brakes. Attack timeout called, and again, this is where I look for potentially a pace change. Vision Strikers to go back to their roots, change things up a little bit, up the pace, up the tempo. Because so far, I got to say, Vision Strikers look very hesitant in the early round. Again, there's no probe sent out. There's nothing to kind of stop Forsaken just being absolutely brazen in terms of pushing forwards and finding space.
And compare that to how it looked for them, for PaperX on their side of things, how willing they were to invest into that. Whether it paid dividends or not, I think was quite clear, but also just such a tailored approach to catch that coming out from Vision Strikers. But I feel they need a little bit of it themselves here. Maybe find a little bit of that information, but it's tricky.
Well, talking about information, actually on the attacking side, Vision Strikers weren't really given much, right? It was more actually, they sit deep, they wait for PaperX to almost, to an unorthodox level, push to find those kills, to find those at least kind of pressure points. You get back into things now. Looking at it, King, the lockdown Buzz with a Blade Storm. Cosmic Divide, Seekers close by.
Yeah.
On the other side, nothing available, and actually Forsaken not on that operator. Buzz does have one on the table, but again, that kind of indicates towards a much slower approach from Vision Strikers to really
Look
find.
at this. Big P coming out. Love that from Buzz. We talked about being proactive. We wanted to see something, a bit of a pace change potentially, and that's exactly what the Doctor ordered. Good tag as well. Forsaken now going to be quelled slightly, down to 30 HP. Harder to be that instigator now.
Doing just that. The first time I've really seen Buzz kind of swing for an opening duel there. It's in the round that the operator's invested. Now, PaperX need to find something elsewhere. They'll deal with that alarm bot in mid. Stacks will back away from it. Forsaken still looming.
Here.
Actually, I think Buzz just spotted him on that jump spot here, so it's going to keep RB on red alert. Not sure, actually, if Forsaken... Looked like he turned it, but I'm not even sure if that caught him there, but... I think I got to be careful. No, not going to be it. He will fall. PaperX down to 3 now.
Buzz. Why not show off? This would be double digits made for Vision Strikers, and actually quite a well-needed one. My PaperX really had a bit of a death grip on them, but now Sheba, a 1v5. No freebie at the beginning. HP's decent. Utility not too far away, but Stacks going to keep it clean. And I think this is the first Prime Gaming flawless that we've actually had. These have been quite contested. We did see Vision Strikers generally keeping it clean, but losing maybe a player, but that was about it.
I love talking about this. That's exactly what you want to see when you come out of attack timeout. And I think actually in terms of the approach to this round, the way it plays out, it's night and day to what we've seen from Vision Strikers. It's the first time, again, we've seen Buzz really swing for something in the early round. Finds a little success. Maybe that's the boost they need. Get back into PaperX, gonna call attack timeout of their own. Now, Lauren, do you think we see an adjustment coming out of this tactical timeout?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I
That's
reckon.
bold.
I know.
That's
truly.
a really hot take, actually.
I know. Well, don't clip
Could you
it.
elaborate on that? For
No.
me? No?
No.
Okay. It's just different. We're going to see something different.
Something different. You know, we can go through the typical buzzwords of needing something different. I mean, that was the first round they lost in. How many was it, actually? Like 4 on the trot?
It was an 8-4 half. They lost pistol. It was 9-4, so they call it 5 rounds.
5 rounds. I mean, it feels...
Caster Mathis on record.
That was really bold of
I
you.
was scared to actually answer that question.
I know.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I mean, they say, like, don't work with animals and children, but have you seen our analyst desk? Hiya. They're still down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I felt something.
Just daggers, mate. That's all it was.
Okay, good.
But no, it does seem as though we are coming back into this. But again, maybe just wanted to address what that ops impact could be, how they want to find their way around it. What are you trying to whisper to me? We've got microphones.
It was
on.
4 rounds. Right.
It was 4 rounds. I was right. Oh, you did caster math and it was wrong. Well, we go back in and let's see if any adjustments, any noticeable differences are made. Maybe around just be it Buzz or just how the rest of they felt Vision Strikers had adjusted off the back of that.
Again, though, Buzz, RB, they're set up to be proactive, at least on A. Second flash going to come out here, not going to find anything. That'll be the green light for RB to rotate elsewhere. But Buzz still posted.
But the immediate response, obviously, if you're Vision Strikers as well, they're going to try and lean away from the op. Will now stack maybe towards B Garage 6, which seems the case. Buzz still controlling that. You couldn't ask for a sweeter start for Vision Strikers there as well.
Yeah. And again, for Forsaken to be solo out on that side, King might even be greeted by Benkai, who after seeing that utility must have known. Also with an Astra Star there, King actually turns his back.
Timing! Divide! he might have a little bit of a timing on this, maybe to get King, but how do you get the rest? That's the difference. Does he even check for this? He does. Great work. Execution begins. Device going to lean on through. That's almost a follow-up, but it's Mind Freak right there.
This is great.
You are divided.
See, Stack's actually got to come away and respect this. There's no way Stax is backing away as if he's saving right now. Actually, no, sorry, going to pick up the heal from RB. I thought RB was heading towards the attacker's spawn side to flank there, but... So yeah, Seeker's invested, and yeah, they will force the issue. Try and get back through spawn here. The flash is perfect, though. Look at that buzz. Stax is going to follow up on it, though.
Yeah, where was that next layer to Achiba? Still waiting. 1, 2, the third! Just slips through his fingers. As now it's just on Stax as Mind Freak holds the line. And the timeout coming into this, the adjustment, it worked out.
The stuff, and actually, you see Forsaken kind of out on an island there to almost kind of bait Vision Strikers. The problem is with a jet like Forsaken, you almost think that's the tell. That's the execute, right? That's literally them showing their hand very early on. Shout out to Shiba as well to find those two on the way back through. There were so many flashes exchanged, especially with RB and Stax being 2 up still on that retake with the Seekers on top of it.
Can we just say, though, Paper X are pushing Vision Strikers, who were once again touted to be, I'd say, top 3, top 4 team, by the people who really like that playstyle, who've seen them a lot. They really highly hold this team in big regard, and they are being pushed by what would be a massive underdog in this narrative, in my mind. I mean, we saw Icebox come out and we're like, oh god, what's happening here? We're gonna be out here before midday. Not the case at all. 10-9, Paper X are truly doing something very impressive. But they have to get across the finish line, otherwise it's that close game that no one remembers. But Buzz will be waiting. Just rattles off a shot. Just Forsaken takes that territory.
Blocking sight.
Ultimate here, Seekers available here for Divide. Shiba with the Hunter's Fury and Forsaken. So Blades on Buzz again though. Last few rounds he's really come into his own. That operator on and actually shutting down Forsaken a number of times now. But a big positive for me, same thing happened in the previous round, and Paper X still strung together a very, very structured execute onto Scene. It looks like that's going to be the end goal here once again.
Mind Freak going for this. King's in trouble. He was picked out before. It might be again. How well can he get out of this? Gun Barrel shows he actually still claims 1, which is actually quite impressive, but Divide instantly on the trade back through. You want Stax to get involved here. He sees 2 backs towards him. It's shut down. It's clinical. It is a big response straight away.
I think actually with the way that went, Vision Strikers obviously Buzz finding Forsaken initially, and they almost anticipate exactly the same thing's going to happen.
Yep.
And that's one thing you got to credit Vision Strikers on, is their ability to just use this information to their advantage, adjust their setup accordingly, and always be in the right position, especially in terms of, you know, majority bodies and stacking up towards one site. There's not an awful lot Paper X can do that. I mean, they can't repeat the same success from the previous round.
Here.
Oh, they've broken the bank.
They have.
Get out of my way.
Played Sorno again, comes Forsaken. Can he find an opener? First time really seen him explore mid, and that's actually why we're seeing Vision Strikers lean away from B so
He's
much.
off. Forsaken's still going. He's deep towards back A. This is insane. Now RB's attention is drawn towards Sewer. This is Forsaken catching rotation. He's in their spawn. And how uncomfortable are you if you're that A player? Suddenly nothing is safe. You're tucked in one corner, and that's all you got. You can see RB. He's looking. He's trying to check. Flash comes in.
No way,
Forsaken
RB.
lingering. How is RB holding the back? He did everything he could just before being stuffed in the grave by Forsaken. But now he's surrounded. If he gets more, this would be a miracle round for him. And he is just living in the Viper's den right now. Up and over he goes!
Manages to slip away from that, actually. And Buzz is there to greet him. Have I now? Last one. Pressure building for him. Got to find another kill. Finally, Vision Strikers in that round. But wow, what a round from Forsaken. He comes through, giving them a fighting chance. But RB straight away responding with 3 kills. And ultimately putting Vision Strikers back in the driving seat. Gives them a man advantage. Perfectly lines up. Actually, I'm lucky not to find the last Forsaken that catches him for the trade.
I mean, that was still pretty much an eco with an ult. So, context-wise, I mean, the problem is that it's 12, right? So it's map point to Vision Strikers.
Might not count for much.
Yeah, this is Vision Strikers map, so again, take what you will from that. But these two teams aren't unknown to each other. They will be scrimming. Southeast Asia and Korea play a whole lot. So at this point, well aware of each other. There's the ult popped already very early on from Shiba. Does he get anything for this? A little lackluster in my mind with that. Oh, Mako is anything but, though. Look at that. Perfect control as they try and make the way towards C. He's going to get a little aggressive as a way to finish it. 13-9. Now we have kind of, you know, pastel Sean, of course. But to the game. We do have now a bit of a game on our hands. I mean, now the thing that stands out to me that is going to just be drilled in my mind is that this was PaperX's choice of map. Now, if you've watched Vision Strikers, they're quite good at this. It's quite a very good map, actually, for them. So, I don't know what to expect here, if I'm honest, but I didn't on the first map, and I was pleasantly surprised. So, again, this is just a wait and learn in my eyes, at least when it comes to Paper Rex's performance.
You've seen, actually, both Buzz and Stacks leaned very heavily forwards on B, and Forsaken's actually going to punish that. We'll find an opener, and Stacks has to respect this pressure. Now, King through next to Orange here, but straight away, divide with the wall. Plant's going to go through. Actually, Vision Striker's trying to break through that to prevent the plant going down, but it won't happen.
No, it's just the damage. At this point, Spike is down. Look at the clock ticking away and going to the post plant. Of a creep back up from Divide. Just going to pop himself up on the edge of that wall for as long as he can, and that's the surprise. Marco got him. He got Divide down. Forsaken then going to pick up that mantle. Wall goes. Oh, it's a whiff. It's a bit of a problem. It's a huge problem, actually. Look at the state of this one. It's all gone Pete Tong. And that one person gets that reference, but it will be PRX to get that first round.
Yeah, fantastic setup. Actually, a little bit of misuse of utility on the way back in, but I mean, actually, fair play to, was that Divide that swung through just ahead of that wall going in? Shiba able to do loads of damage, and this is a guy, again, my eyes go towards him. It was a slower game on Haven. Again, maybe he's one of those impact players here on Icebox, and I'm excited to see that. But, pistol round on the board. We'll see nothing invested here from Vision Strikers in a four-man stack towards B site at least, and Marco out on an island elsewhere.
Normally we talk through this round somewhat because it is an eco, but we have seen this. I know we have seen rounds like this. When it was on the shoes on the other foot, we did see a conversion on this round.
Well,
but
I was going to say we did see Forsaken just doing disgusting things with the classic. 2
mad shots. But this should be kept clean. But we haven't seen much of, I guess, PaperX with the economic advantage early on, because that's just not how it went. So I want to see how they look, on their anti-ecos. How can they keep it clean? Are they able to kind of, make sure everything's looked after? So this is, again, just more of that kind of building the idea of how these guys look. There's the first bit of contact after that spike went down.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, this is perfectly fine. Yeah. There it is. Nice. Prime Gaming flawless view.
Good progress as well, especially towards Forsaken's ultimate. One away from the Blade Storm now, and a good start for him, 5-0. To continue his successes, at least individually, from the first map.
One enemy remaining.
Again, I think, you make a good point that really, if there is a round deficit from PaperX on the attacking side, how Vision Strikers kind of handle that, right? How they're trying to counteract that, because the tendency is to want to try and find value from, maybe a few rounds where PaperX have got a lesser buy, but I think PaperX have kind of set the tone for how they want to play regardless of the purchase, and that's going to be difficult for Vision Strikers to get a handle on.
This will just play to the notion of what Vision Strikers do against opponents like this. And how aware they are of each other, because we have been told that these two regions are able to play against each other and they scrim and practice occasionally. And Tommy Turret's come out, having a whale of a time. Actually, Forsaken is as well, 21 HP, but he's dominating the site, and now it's on towards RB. Backside, still gonna get manhandled. This is a tragedy in the making for Vision Strikers. They're not going to be loving this at all. This is all falling to pieces. Now it's just one left alive. The Viper in the 1v2. Spots out one, but he's being slowly crept on from the side, but reads it like a book. Closes that chapter on Forsaken and now pushes forward. Just baiting out the corner. That was so well done, but Devi is that safe pair of hands.
That's the third on the board for PaperX. Vision Strikers buy round actually stripped away from them and hear them getting a little animated in the studio.
I hope that wasn't just in unison sheesh.
What, are you worried or cringing if it was? Which is it?
Sheesh. No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm too old to be doing it. It's just
Well, at least
it
you didn't
catches
do
my
it
attention.
on broadcast.
No, I'd never. That'd be weird. But no, it did sound kind of on it.
Shishi.
Yeah, kind of sheeshy. Bit sheeshy. Money, obviously, not going to be so pretty, and the bonus gets collected. A little off the back of Forsaken, you could say, but again, building perfectly the economy en route and wants to continue doing as such. Lovely quick kills to start off with. Happy to be the first man forward, wants to get those knives back in the pocket. Still looking for that pixel out of place, you can see it. He is just deathmatching this right now.
Sax will respond, that's a year of Forsaken.
One
We'll double down on this pressure. RB actually responds here with another great shot. But just a matter of time. One man above him, Mind Freak trying to close the distance here with the classic. Will find one. Be the fourth. 3 survive as well, so good momentum building here in these early rounds. Bit of a financial buffer as well. I think actually Vision Strike is probably in Vision Strike is probably in a position where they're not going to have. Okay, well, it was a she, so I just heard. Yeah,
You
just heard the
confirmed?
second one. Yeah, going to breeze on past. But Vision Strikers do have a little left in the bank here, but it'll be a scrappy purchase if they decide to actually reinvest. Again, round loss bonus will be a factor, but it won't be a full purchase on the next. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Whereas actually, on the other hand, Paper X rolling in it.
They're loving it. Forsaken is just having the best time, feeling confident. Buzz just got pinged as well. That's a problem.
Look at this.
Forsaken straight in.
Look at this,
Look how
man.
bold they are. Just confidence oozing through them. Forsaken greets him with a smile. Buzz is dead. And this is why they picked Icebox. Fair enough. Korean fans, this is worrying. Stacks with a shot and a half, but it doesn't matter. It's all tradable. There's just ones left alive. And again, Marco's so far away here. In a 1v3. The Viper ult feels just redundant, doesn't it, at this point? Just going to sit himself down and watch as that's going to be 5 on the board. What was that pace, Hypoc?
Do you know the interesting thing there? Forsaken didn't even really feel any pressure until he gets into top site. And for some reason, pauses. There's Buzz on the other end of that with a shorty inside the poison orb. And again, I don't know what actually came of that, whether or not it was spotted. I think the recon bomb may have pinged him out just before, but they actually freeze the diligence to actually kind of make sure that, you know, the end goal is still achieved. Massive credit to Paper X, because something like that, I mean, especially with Forsaken going so far forward solo with the spike, potential to lose the spike on site, and then actually, you know, if the ball sits right back into Vision Striker's court here, and that's exactly what I was talking about there. Shiba as well finding this first one. The second onto RB as well. Already seeing some positives from him. Yes, a little shaky on the first map, but 5 rounds unanswered now. Vision Strikers do actually, well, it's the SMG, a couple of light armors. I'm guessing this is a play to at least save through, but there's potentially Paper X going to 6. Actually, straight away, Buzz catching a headshot.
Confident.
Look at this.
They are just deathballing around this. It's so momentum-based, and it's still just pouring down. Vision Strikers are in trouble, and they are not getting a grip on this game in this round at all. PRX are absolutely snowballing this one, and it's beautiful to watch. And look at it, the confidence oozing out of them. Ryman Gaming flawless here, just solidifying how strong this is. And let's put some context on this. If you guys don't watch Vision Strikers much, be like, oh, maybe this is a bad map. No, it's really not. People barely break double digits against them. I think outside of the one loss they had in 2020, keep in mind, only one team has ever broken double digits on them, and everyone has still lost. So they're a really good team on this map. I am enamored with how these guys are approaching it. It is no fear, no respect. We are just pouring through.
Respect. That's exactly the phrase I want to put on, because with the way Vision Strikers played on Haven and that slight hint of hesitation or cautiousness, I think they're now abused. Buzz will open this one up. Benkai falls off the rip. See now what the adjustment is, because I think actually the first time Vision Strikers have drawn first blood in a couple of rounds. So to see what the plan is obviously divide. Get him back on his feet. And again, Paper X look to pressure towards B side. Now we've seen a couple of variations actually, and that split through mid sticks out in my mind. You can see actually immediately the adjustment here for Vision Strikers to be in position for that. But this is all 5 of Paper X down B lane. Forsaken with that
Cross,
actually,
man.
Buzz still going to find a second.
Yeah, he's watching this cross like a hawk. He's not letting them pass at all. There's the next layer to it, RB. Now, this might be the adjustment, but Mindfree just got that ult come around with that ult collection, so bit of a fresh look for this round, maybe going to help things out to make up the 2-player deficit, and you can see the utility just being poured on through again. No one really making big progress here. You can see them still looking for a King. King's been found. And now we've got Benkai and Mindfreak. Is there any chances? Taps the spike, looks forward. Benkai did find Buzz, but there it was. The trade out comes in, the Viper's ult goes down, and finally Vision Strikers get one back. But that was off the back of some hard early work as well.
Yeah, it was. I think initially here, Buzz obviously fair play to him to still be ballsy enough to kind of peak this with the amount of pressure and the pace at which Paper X have been playing some of these rounds. Again, I think it's what's necessary. They need to find these first bloods. Now with the revive removed, actually, off the board for Paper X. Actually, you're going to see Devi on the operator here. Maybe that's just with Forsaken on the base on. But Paper X spread a little more thin here. Spike not committed, at least either way, early on. And straight away, without this pressure on B lane, you can see now Stacks will drift away from B and leave Buzz posted. Again, they can bank on him potentially only having 2 people to deal with. Finds the first, dashes away. Got to deal with that.
Okay, contact made towards tunnel. Wall to follow. Just want to make sure that's dealt with. And you're right, different start, different look. Have a minute marker now. They made progress anywhere else? Not really, actually. They're maybe just trying to see if they can get a pick going, see if there's anyone giving Devi an opportunity, but it's really not getting much. You can see them sitting in deep here. Interesting corner as well for the Viper.
I was going to say, we're going to see an interesting Viper setup here on A, and actually the first time that Marco's going to be able to kind of rely on it.
See what he gets to bring. We haven't really seen him get much play on this side of the map in full buys or anything, and well, you can see the intention already. There goes the ult coming through, there goes the counter to that ult, so that should be shut down. They kind of hold each other accountable with those ults, but maybe could have followed up to a little further, but no, Forsaken keeps his life.
Got a spike.
And you're right, Spike is off. They've got a couple of players there to show a little skin, keep him present, but it is going to be Buzz. He's going to have to do something brilliant to keep him in this, but there's that mid-catch as well. King's going to be in trouble. Buzz, though, still trying to do the best he can. Tries to keep his team in this. He does well to find 2, but Devi is right there. Spike is going to be going down, and now the support's in place. Forsaken's made his way up there, over towards Yellow. Just slips a little far out from sight, but a 1v3 op in hand, and Spike planted. He knows where at least 2 of these players are. The third, he's going to hazard a guess. Utility, nothing left on the other side. It's all going to be in the peaks, but Stacks ain't stopping. Yeah. It's the full defuse, and Devi knows that he can't do much about it. Has to watch as the clock gets ripped away from him. And for now, second response.
Fair play to Vision Strikers for recovering that. Buzz going very aggressive to try and stop that spike from going down. Another 3 seconds or so, and the clock decides that round for them. But I love that from Paper X. They come through the lockdown invested, and they don't even dip their toes. They don't give anything away on A side. They don't lose anything. Sheebert is in a perfect position to basically play in the cut in mid there and completely rip one of the players away in rotation. So the fact that Vision Strikers still find 3 kills after that is insane to me.
I wonder how much they've garnered of kind of trying to work out rotations as well. That's the first time we've really seen them try and punish those rotations. We saw that little bit of a play up middle later game. Once they hit that fake, they kind of made that play up. I'm wondering if they're going to start reading into these rotations a little easier, maybe a little earlier. And it looks like Forsaken is actually testing the waters up tube again. So I'll remind back to last round, there was that jump spotting Sage on the other side. No such thing this time around. And Buzz going to get noted.
I was going to say, Buzz being noted is a key factor here, because he's been very, very prominently trying to control B main, at least with that operator. Paper X don't adjust, though.
They're sticking to this.
And the thing is, King is actually here with him, so it's a new look from Vision Strikers on the defense. See here what the plan is from Paper X. Benkai going to get himself up. Towards pipes, he will creep it, and Buzz actually a swing and a miss on the first.
Oh, you're a brave boy to in that cross. The repeat from Forsaken,
both of
though.
them.
Yeah, both of them going back in on this after Buzz would have had potentially the angle. And he's got more than that. He's got the follow-up towards Shiba, and he's still going to be trying to control, make himself seem a little bigger than he is right now. He needs the rest of his side to get over here and provide that support, which he now has. Switching on out to the rifle to Devi up top towards the nest. And actually, there's the ult coming in.
Yeah, finally Buzz dealt with here. He's down to a 2v2. Actually, Stax nearly catches one, but Devi actually gets the best of it. Marco, he's got to swing up top. Devi will find his third, and Paper X will stow the line. They win out on the A side, and actually Buzz finds everything he needs to before that site here comes through, Lauren.
If you just read the start of that round, you'd think, well, that's fine. They've done everything. That's the dream start.
Just a little point there. I love the setup, actually. For Devi to be able to play inside Nest on site, actually on the second layer, the Viper Wall is the only thing that enables him to do that. And that's such an awkward position to dig somebody out from, right? And
yep.
I mean, we talk about A site in terms of retaking that. It's really difficult with so many of these tight cubbies to play inside. I have to hold that thought for a moment here, because again, Forsaken going to open up this round. King will fall.
Vision Strikers look frustrated. They're looking like they want that response. They're getting aggressive for it. Gets the rifle. They are on the weaker buy, so why not try something? But they're also only on 2 rounds. They need more. This is meant to be a stronghold of theirs, and right now they are being dictated to. Mind Freak with a bit of a surprise. Pulls himself back a bit. Where are they off to now? It looks like the spike's being ferried over towards the A site. Should be a fairly safe plant. No one really nearby at this point.
No way of stopping this. Forsaken again. Another kill on Derby. Benkai now will push a little deeper. Stax and Buzz left to try and recover anything they can, whether it be damage or not. Nice open. Good shot, actually, from Stax. Again, with this deficit, what's the value of damage to the economy, right? I mean, Paper X have been in total control of this, and look who's flanking around Mind Freak. Will come Stax. Actually, this is going to be very problematic. Benkai luckily finds the first on the way in, but Stax, he's going to have no idea where Mind Freak's coming from.
It's the last place you'd ever expect, but it's not particularly favorable. Mind Freak, can he get there in time? He's going to have to make noise. He's going to have to be quick about this one. Stax!
Okay. A little bit overzealous there from Paper X. The Red Bull clutch coming through. Stax closing that out. And like I said, actually, you can't get lost in a flank like that for that long. That's interesting. Again, maybe just a complete miscalculation here of the timing of what Vision Strike is going to do. I mean, they still leave 2 to hold on to sight here, but a fumble, to say the least, for Paper X. I'm hoping not to look back on rounds like that and be the ones that kind of, you know, change the course of this matchup.
Hey, look, Stax's aim that round was real nice. So, hey, maybe a reminder of, hey, this is Vision Strikers we're seeing. Yeah, like, let's not start getting a little too ahead of yourself. 7-3 for now. Half looming. I did not expect this scoreline, at least with the names we're seeing in front of us, more than the way around. So, as it stands, we see that early challenge over towards Long. No one really suffering too much off the back, but it will show that Buzz's intention was to sit around this site.
There again. Paper's just trying to get a feel for the setup, and this is a much slower approach, actually. It's if you look towards the minimap and don't see Forsaken up tube or
cheeky walk mid.
Peeking Boiler here. Actually, the alarm boss will catch them when they come out of this poison orb. That will give away the information here. Actually, again, look at Forsaken. Look how eager he is to find this opening jewel. And he keeps pushing as well.
Oh, there's no fear, and neither has Devi, apparently. Catching King there towards middle. They've just sliced the map in half. They're right amongst them. Devi again with another. Just give him a sheriff. He's just fine. So now we're down to 3 for Vision Strikers, and Marco's just back to the wall here, just trying to not get too noted RB, the timing could be big, as it could for Marco if he gets it just right, but they're slipping past each other. The spike's going down. He may spot one, and he does take Forsaken. The one in towards Nest gets found as well. Now, what do we have remaining? Benkai and Mind Freak. Benkai, I thought that timing could have got you there, but he gets it just right to find RB. Now Marco.
Still got his wall up, actually, and will retrieve their poison orb, so an opportunity at least. Did he get spotted there? Actually, Benkai will find him through it. And Paper X put their 8th round on the board.
Last round
To
in
Vision
the half.
Strikers 3. Again, with the way actually the last couple of rounds have gone here, I got a question. With that win, actually that clutch up by Stacks, it gives them kind of that economic reset. And yeah, I mean, hopefully they can get Buzz's Bladestorm online. It becomes a little bit of an offset for them here, but this is worrying coming into the last round because we're potentially looking at 9-3 for Paper X.
It ain't over till it's over. But what I'm seeing is a really strong Paper X right now, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And if Forsaken keeps doing this, his willingness to fight, he's never backing down, unrelenting, happy to push and pressure, and the rest follow him off the back. Stacks once in, he just gets met by sheer force. Sheba's right there, and well, it's a judge, so what are you going to have happen to you? Now, 5 still stand for Paper X here. They're just kind of testing the waters. The tempo's just right. They've got the plant coming through. The site's theirs.
In total control here. Benkai has the lockdown, Divide, the red, everybody else actually one away, so there could be some reactionary ults here. The lockdown invested. Mind Freak actually loses that one to King. But how much is it going to matter? There's just one left, and it's Marco here. Forsaken finds his third. The Bladestorm, the swing point for them in that round. A 9-3 lead for Paper X, Lauren. Wow. I mean, I was impressed in map 1, but now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, this has gone from like a kind of, all right, well, I'm not sure what to make of it yet. They looked really good on that second half of the first map for Paper X. We're like, okay, well, this is pretty good. Forsaken's very much up there. We saw, you know, the nice flashes come out from Devi as well on Sky. Well, apparently Icebox was a mistake. We kind of looked at that initially and we're like, not sold, but here we are.
I mean, my question was around kind of, you know, the data sample of that kind of win ratio, what it was going to mean coming into this, and straight away, I mean, I can probably close my notes and just wait to see what happens in the second half, to be quite honest with you.
Well, speaking of notes, I wonder what notes have been taken on this half so far. Let's find out over on the wall with Bala.
Thank you so much. That was an explosive start for Paper X in this game. We're going to take a look at a round where it was maybe a little anti-eco, but it showed the pace that Paper X and Forsaken specifically were able to take. So let's go ahead and take a look at the mini map over here and kind of talk about the starts of the round. First off, you have your Sova, who's down here with the Jet. He's going to go ahead and drone and try to make space for Jet to get down these lanes in B. And then also you have the other two, that's the Sage and the Killjoy over down here in the garage for Paper X. So let's go ahead and roll the clip and see what happens as they end up going through. I also want you to keep an eye on the Viper right here who's moving along with them, but in the back. Very important, pause it real quick, that he is in the back, not taking these aggressive peeks where you actually see Forsaken up on top of the boxes, Sova pushing the lanes as well. These 3 players in the back, because their utility is very important down the line, specifically the Viper wall that's about to go across the middle of the B site. So go ahead and roll it, and when we get that Viper wall, I'll talk a little bit about what that gives you as Paper X. So there it is, pause it again. This is going to be an opportunity, especially because they've gotten so many kills in the front of site, to really, really push the pace. That's a circle again, to really push the pace down into Snowman, down these lanes, and possibly even push past the wall. So let's go ahead and roll it, and we'll watch some gameplay as well, so we can see the rest of the kills that come in, because they are really nice. The Sage wall comes up, and here, at the beginning of the round, I do want to pause real quick. Because that smoke right there, you might be wondering, why did he just smoke the top of a box? It's because of the Sova dart that came in from the other opposing Sova on the other side. So he's making sure that stops, doesn't get any more information on his teammates, on himself. Go ahead and roll it now as we watch the rest of this. Instantly, they get a tag on the other side. He goes up very, very fast, and boom, he dashes onto the Sage and making sure that he could get that elimination. Following that up, it's Benkai into the back, making sure that these lanes are covered. All the different angles are covered very well. And from there, this is what I was talking about, pushing that Viper wall. He was even on top of the Sage wall for a second there, but pause it real quick. Look how both Forsaken and Divide are coming down this lane at the same time, just as that massive Viper wall that we just saw went down. So that's Mindfree pulling down the Viper wall at the perfect time, and Divide and Forsaken are cleaning up the final kill at the same time. So as we finish out this round, go ahead. That's it. This was basically an example, I think, of how aggressive Paper Rex can be on Icebox specifically. This is something that, even going into the defensive half for them, is going to be hard to contend with Vision Strikers, who really has been playing a much, much more passive game.
There's so much to go over. I feel I've been, as said, looking through my notes of my expectations, my thoughts coming into this. Icebox scared the life out of me. As soon as I saw that map come up, I'm thinking, is this a 2-0? Is this a mispick? How are they doing this? How have they done this? Because, as said, historically, Vision Strikers have been very good here. How are PaperX finding this amount of room to work with?
Bala makes a really interesting point, and I was talking about how, you know, repeatable some of the successes are of just Forsaken, go forwards, Devi's going to help you out, like, but we're seeing so much variation in those small kind of intricate details of utility usage adds to that synergy, right? And actually on a macro level, I'm really impressed by PaperX's ability to read what Vision Striker's going to do when they show a little presence. I think back to that round on A, the lockdown goes in, they find that rotation kill, but see what Vision Strikers can bring here.
Forsaken, you're on the defensive side.
Yeah,
just want to let you know, you are defending this map. If you're really going to walk this, Buzz is happy to swat you back, just to keep you in place this time. No aggression for you, but now the rest of PaperX know what is exactly coming their way.
Two members still here, one committed to Tube, one still on A. PaperX, and Vision Strikers will look to force their way through. Got all this space going, and actually all the way up to Snowman. Shiva, I think, fairly aware of it. Be careful now. Buzz able to dash back to safety. RB will find a kill, actually.
Yeah, having some of Vision Strikers kind of sitting towards that CT side makes this playback in a little trickier, but it's been cleared for now as RB goes down. And you're right, it is open, which does mean it's pretty difficult to find maybe a cheeky way to get that half defuse going. You're not going to get it so easily. Marco there just going to spot players as the walls being dipped up and down. But speaking of defuse, Mindfreak is...
No way.
Mindfreak's defusing it the whole way through. Finally gets stopped. Gets held back. The big guy's on it. Oh, Buzz! Just in time. Vision Strikers pick back up here, and I'm going to say it, they needed this round. They were looking like the underdogs coming into map 2, which is ridiculous.
Let's hope that PaperX can't turn a second half round 2.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
No.
Never seen a classic 2K coming out.
No. But again, it's Forsaken, man. It takes so much for a player to continue playing this sort of pace, this level of aggression. I mean, I was saying throughout an entire map, but to continue into the second map as well and keep trying to drive your team forwards. It's so fantastic to watch, honestly.
It really is resilience as well, because sometimes you just get made, not to look silly is almost the wrong term, but it's very hard to find that ability every single time, and well, you can see Shiva's been found this time. Trying to make a little bit of a play up, but they're very aware of it.
These are the rounds that I want to see Vision Strikers be in total control, right? The anti-ecos, not allowing any of these slip-ups once again. Again, I think back to that round 2 on Haven in the second half, but looking initially, they're going to be able to follow up on this.
Yeah.
One down.
Oh. Wow. This is going cleanly so far, and we were kind of, I was, and I think you in agreement, giving them credit for how they played out those anti-ecos. We enjoyed that. And as it stands, that was one of the good ones rather than the one I'll never look back on and remember.
Forsaken 18 and 10, man.
But him and Divide, that little combo of the two, you know, we talk about the wombo combo, the 1-2 punch.
I like, you know, as well, shout out to Baller again, just having the ability to see that freeze frame and just look at us actually, you know, as part of that play to execute onto B site and just see it, it's like, yeah, we talk about the duo, but the wall drops and who's right next to each other, just literally leading the charge for PaperX. It's been so great to watch. Have to see what Vision Strikers try and get done here. SMGs across the board. Forsaken now switching things up.
Okay.
Play towards pipes on A. The Owl Drone going to clear out a lot of these close angles for Vision Strikers. So they might try and move up actually. And did he get tagged? He did actually. He's got to slip away, and that will relinquish some control. Vision Strikers, at least on the entry.
Yeah, they're looking for Forsaken!
Okay.
The turret is still here! Pops himself up nice and high by rafters and just provides death from above. Has to respect a little bit of the utility put down to slow that play back in, but there's right at his side, Devi as well. The 1-2 punch, we talk about it time and time again, it's down to just 2. They were on Spectres. This was going to be a harder round for them to convert, but Marco's making a go of this. Hold on. And now, Marco outdoes a rifle, apparently. This is still not over yet. RB, what is happening?
Vision Strikers come out with a huge win here, a 3-piece there with the Spectre. And that turns things around. That puts Vision Strikers in touching distance actually straight away in the second half. Yes, it's still 3 rounds, but have the economy reset here. I'll take a look actually of Forsaken in terms of progress here. Again, I look towards the Blade Storm to turn things around. Well, I wish my Spectre did that. That's all I'll say on that. But a big victory here in that round. Forsaken 1 away. Is he going to make a play for the Orb? He's over on 8. No initial presence shown yet, no attempt to move forwards at least. But he's going to find a Sheriff kill onto Buzz. Don't worry about the Orb, just find a kill for a second.
I guess that works too, right? You know.
Yeah, why not?
And there it is. I think we just heard it go off in the background. I'm just blown away with what this player can do. But now, Mind Freak, what have you got? There was a second where that could have been a bit more dangerous, but they're keeping control.
This is going to be perfect. Well, it's going to draw the rotation of Paper X. Sheeba going to walk through under tube and A site wide open for the taking. Whether or not actually they stack up on this or anybody starts to actually the turret going to give the information away. Stacks will get Buzz back on his feet just to make absolutely sure no further damage is done to the economy. But with the res invested, I want to see them keep potentially 5, at least 4 alive here. With that further investment. Forsaken still alive and kicking.
He was only able to get 1. He had to get so much more if they want to do some damage in that. But now, Vision Strikers just building the blocks back to try and be on all even. And they've been doing well so far. I'm, again, going to put a lot of credit towards Marco there. His ability to find those couple of kills on the Spectre, to get past the bonus and continue forward, has given them such a boom in economy for now.
Well, they're effectively a buy round away from, expectation-wise, drawing this up straight away. And with that, I guess, abysmal first half of Vision Strikers, I've got to say, to find 4 here initially. This is the round now that completely flips this on its head. Forsaken going to go deep with the operator here. Vision Strikers show nothing. Blade Storm available for Buzz. RB, Hunter's Fury, King. Halfway past for the lockdown. And King having a much quieter game this time around than Icebox as well. Vision Strikers pause for a moment. And actually, is Aldron going to clear through mid and actually in towards tube? So Paper X should have a good read here, and this double stack on boxes actually going to peel away from that. I think anticipating that it's going to be numbers on the side of Vision Strikers looking to pressure B site.
Yeah, not a single player falling just yet. Site is, however, taken, and Buzz is going to be a problem.
Well, I think that
Nailed them.
I was finding this kill over here on Devi. Actually, Forsaken going to trade it, but you've got to go quick here because RB's got the Hunter's Fury now. Vision Strikers will probably lean back and try and use that to buy some time. Sheeba now paving the way, but Stacks will shut him down.
Timing's everything here. Forsaken can't get it, and this is going to be shut down. Vision Strikers doing exactly what was required, and talk to us exactly as to why that was so imperative, because the scoreboard's reading it, but let's talk through what this now entails.
I mean, they have the ability here potentially to tie things up, but if they then take a round loss here, it resets the economy. Obviously, then Paper X lose this the lose round bonus in terms of that buffer. And effectively, we're right back on a level playing field. Paper X, again, you don't really look towards a round like this for them to win with a Sheriff. No Blade Storm, obviously Forsaken did invest that previously. It looks like he's actually going to ride this through and potentially try and get the operator back online for their buy round. But the thing is here with Vision Strikers, they're being meticulous in terms of utility and ultimate management here. Now they have another couple of rounds where they have a few key tools come online. Hunter's Fury obviously used in the previous one, but we look towards the Viper Spear, the Lockdown, some of those ones that can really, you know, string together an execution that's very hard to overcome for Paper X.
Yeah, and I think Paper X know exactly why we were starting to talk to the value of the upcoming rounds and why this, I guess even the previous one really, and the knock-on effect going forward is so critical. They need to address this now, a couple of adjustments because they've come out, and we know that they are truly resilient in the way they play, but they need something. They need that next adjustment. They need that next layer of where to go to, because we asked the question of depth. How often does this work? Can you keep relying on Forsaken and whoever else for that side, but then we have to, you know, look beyond that. Now on this half, does that continue to work?
I mean, we're in a scenario now where we're actually more questioning or testing the depth of Vision Strikers, right? Again, yes, we've seen them already build back into this, but what's the next layer? Can they get in the driving seat? I feel like even really in the rounds that it's coming down to the wire, Paper X are the ones being the one to almost try and be definitive, right? To be decisive in terms of what they want to achieve in these rounds. Mindfreak will actually still get pinged on that recon bolt here. Vision Strikers looking to control at least. Now, they've been given Paper X a little space in the early round, and actually, as a byproduct, Forsaken has walked all the way under the turret. But he finds King.
Get out of it. Absolutely get out of it. No right to be doing that. Still finding damage. But again, are they going to be able to police the weaponry at this point? I'm looking to see if we see that Sage, which would be Devi, pick anything up. Now, Buzz has found Benkai. So they have policed it somewhat. Yeah, this is looking clean. This is what you wanted to see if you are a Vision Strikers fan, and you had a very nervous first half. A bit of squeaky bum time first half.
Nervous first map.
Yeah, honestly.
Spike planted.
Speaking of nerves, I'm not going to pretend that these guys can't be nervous as well. This is the first time we've seen them on that international stage in a venue like this. The same storylines we were putting towards the likes of Fnatic, Liquid, every other, V1, all these other teams who got that, I don't want to say out of the way at Reykjavik in Iceland, but had the experience of it. Vision Strikers were touted to be that team. They didn't get the chance to. Now they're getting their land feet underneath them, but I've got to say, Paper X is still impressing me. 9-9. 9-9.
Forsaken is 25 and 14.
Quite a good player, isn't he?
He's all right, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we've had many land crumblers. You know, like all the big names that people look at, like CNED being one of them, you know, Forsaken was another name kind of thrown out there as like, okay, they're pop-off players. I don't think we've seen many bottlers. Everyone's done pretty solid.
I tend to agree. Again, as a EMEA representative, I'll tread very carefully around the subject until we get a little further into the event. But yeah, initially, first appearances, I'm okay with that.
Oh, Forsaken! Let's go! Ops out. Is he going to continue to push that? Again, though, the pressure's starting him out towards A, so they're going to have to address this at some point. Already Stacks is deep on the site. That's plot. No, it's not! Mindfreak, huge denial, and no one was there.
Checked.
Absolutely let to go. Scot-free, Sheba in combination. This is a problem. King and RB are way out of it.
Like I was talking about with that round for Forsaken, they've now lost the spike on site, right? So King will cut Forsaken off in rotation. Now Devi, the next point of contact though, but he finds it. RB now left to try and recover this round for Vision Strikers. He's on the back of not an awful lot.
Uh-oh.
Find the first, the second as well. Brings it to a 1v2. Actually, Devi has the res. I think he's considering getting Forsaken back up. They need to close this round out now. But RB with a fighting chance.
I mean, utility-wise, 20 more seconds. There's a little bit to play with. Spike is just out of reach, and that's an issue. Look at it. Just being
30 seconds
watched.
left.
He spotted it.
Oh, that's quite nice, though. Do they think he's dipped? Devi still holds it. And a valuable round. Double digits now found for Paper X, but Vision Strikers... Again, this is so close. This is still so close. Even though the sides have been quite one-sided technically, the rounds are still relatively close.
Yeah, the problem being I think Vision Strikers have enough of a financial buffer now to...
They do.
Whether or not buy out the rest of the half, but certainly even if Paper X win the next, they're still looking comfortable. Yes, ultimates are a consideration, but look on both sides of it here, Lauren. We have 4 apiece. Devi obviously investing the revive in the previous. RB
Absolutely
away
fine.
from the Hunter's Fury. Everything else available. And Mindfreak closes Viper's Pit down to some control of A site here, and we're going to see a lean from Paper X away towards mid and B. Forsaken again. Going to be at the tip of that.
Forsaken was good for one last time.
Is Forsaken overstaying his welcome here? He was noted, and he's trying to be cheeky about it here. He's got the shorty behind that operator.
Oh, this is such a fine line, isn't it? Actually, he's going to be able to maintain positioning. Now, it does seem as though they're aware of maybe some mid-testing coming out, maybe Buzz. Giving a little way.
Forsaken's pushing.
He's pushing. The turret gives at least a little bit of safety to Vision Strikers, but they're being herded now. They have nowhere to fall back to. There's an ult on one side, there's Forsaken on the other, and now there's further information being garnered. But where do they take this? They lean towards B, sure, but there's still two players that deep towards CT for the defensive side. They are trapped in the middle of this map, I thought.
I think actually,
30 seconds left.
Mindfreak anticipating this. They have to take the zipline over the top of this. But look at Forsaken again. He's pushing through with the blade.
10
He's
HP,
going to get
10
spotted
HP.
out.
Oh my, that has just gone from what could have been incredible to a disaster. Now falls towards Mindfreak. Players now going over. He's going to hear it. He knows he's in trouble. What? King just jumps on in, literally. Vision Strikers. That's 10 seconds. And they've made it on the site. Spike going down. Stax has that in hand. No denial. Can't deny a good damage on the way out, but it does not matter. That's beyond the fact now Benkai and Shiba are left reeling off this.
Absolutely textbook from Vision Strikers. Again, the lockdown to completely negate that Viper's Pit, forcing Mindfreak to make a split-second decision here. Benkai, as he might walk into the waiting arms of RB here in mid. I think actually RB just spotted a barrel.
Right here.
You can see with the ping, that will confirm it. You're going to try and play exits on this, do a little damage, but look at that, they find both. The prime gaming flawless coming out from Vision Strikers in such a well-considered round, Lauren. Again, the ultimate management, absolutely perfect. The response is brilliant. Forsaken again, looking to pile on the pressure. Maybe a little overzealous. King
jumping
doing
in,
his
man.
best Dapper impression here to
Bruh.
jump into the Viper's Pit. What was that?
Look, I didn't quite expect that, if I'm honest. That might have caught me off, but 10-10. It could not get closer between these two, but the money is drastically one-sided right now.
Look at the investment from Paper X, so everything but the lockdown thrown at that previous round.
Everything. It's cleaned the board. And they're down to now Sheriffs, a couple of upgraded armors, a couple of odds and ends, but it's so dire.
We talk about the trade-off, though, and look at the purchase. That's the problem here. Shiba walking, Buzz will greet him. Again, Paper X have to achieve something here, and it's with nothing at their disposal. 3 Sheriffs, a Frenzy. Vision Strikers just happy to play this game now. I think concerns-wise in map 1, yes, it was looking a little dicey with what Paper X were able to achieve, but now Forsaken will get spotted out. RB resets all the way back into spawn here. We're actually up the top of the ramp. Now just looking comfortable with how Paper X want to try and approach these rounds. Spike comes through. No pressure.
Spike planted.
Onto that here. I don't know how to say that. Through the wall? Okay, well.
Fair play. Okay, I mean, it's a step, but guns, I don't say unretrievable, but very unlikely to be freely retrieved. The Stack's still in his position. Gets his divide. Rez coming back in. Rifle back to hand. RB coming through as the final line. Mindfreak with 2 big shots, but it's 11 for Vision Strikers, slowly grinding down Paper X here.
On the brink of closing this out here, Vision Strikers. 1 buy round left to deal with. Again, there's not going to be an awful lot to bring it in if Vision Strikers make this 12, Lauren. Buzz still with the Blade Storm. RB actually building back towards that Hunter's Fury now.
1 round.
1 round.
This is dominance on display on both halves, really. Obviously, Vision Strikers just
I'll take
built
nothing away
starker.
from Paper X in the first half, yeah.
No, absolutely not. Early damage coming through as well towards Device, so maybe feeling a little less prior. Buzz going to take space towards middle.
We did spot Shiba on the cross. Just on the back of Boiler here, so Shiba trying to explore a couple of other angles. And Forsaken left to hold down the fort on A site. Shiba will catch the audio cue there, actually, even dropping off. Vision Strikers look to reset. Now look at the B setup here. Mindfreak playing so deep,
Super deep
towards Snowman. Again, that lockdown available for Benkai. Possibility of, you know, building back in and using that as a crutch almost on the retake.
Here we go. Time to make that cross, but as you said, it deep play, but 2 on the site as well. Don't forget that. Spam on the cross, comes in, no real connections. It's Mindfreak who gets swept aside. Buzz is going to find such comfortable entry. Spike now planted, time even favorable to the Vision Strikers as Paper X now presented a problem, a conundrum that they've got to work out.
The problem is, where do you put the lockdown here? Devi actually might try and get a wall in front of this Spike. You can see him considering it.
Okay.
Actually going to try and protect the lockdown with it. I actually like that. But Spike still in full vision. Nano Swarm available.
They're pushing.
Vision Striker's going to try and rip it away from him.
Oh, that's
it's destroyed.
Yeah, really smart work. Rather than just falling back and accepting the story that's being told you, they push forward. And now problems starting to mount. The time is running away. This is looking like it's 12 on the board, and there's not much more to be done. Paper X have to bring those guns to next round. Vision Strikers are just the titans, stride after stride after stride, pulling this game back in from the brink. That half was dire, Hypoc, and now they're at 12.
Match point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm blown away by the response here. Initially, looked as if Paper X were going to be able to force the third map, I got to say. With there's not many times you look at a 9-3 scoreline and a team strings together 6 rounds to start the half. Yep. There's one stumble along the way, but other than that, flawless.
And this is just still making it so hard to categorize some of these teams. It's like, how do we place this now? Are Paper X just absolutely nutty? Is this actually an even map? Are they very aware of each other? Is this, again, this is very hard to then go, well, okay, pound for pound, what do the other teams look like now? Where does this match up with the rest of the groups? But this is the brilliance of the group stage. We get to find out as it goes along. So, I mean, percentage-wise, if you're playing the numbers game, you're saying GG, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that, but again, it's interesting to see with that investment in the previous, and when we looked at it, there was 4 ults available both sides, and how everything's played since then. Yes, the save, I agree with it here, but you know, throw the lockdown in, there needs to be a little more intention, I'd say, in terms of trying to get back onto that, because that previous round is the map loss in my eyes. Yeah. Again, now they need to actually overcome the odds and turn this around to keep this map going. Buzz still holding on to the Blade Storm. And again, we know the lockdown was the last thing available for them. Vision Strikers on the brink.
Now's the time. Do or die for Paper X in this situation. They had such a lead, but unable to kindle some of that brilliance from that first half as Vision Strikers just tearing them down round by round till where we're sat. Now, this won't just be map point, this will be match point. This is all but done at this one. This will be game over. So now we wait and see. Paper X, what's the first look for you guys? A little bit more postured up towards A, a little bit closer. Forsaken, not a stranger to aggression.
Been a little slower in the previous round as well in terms of really, really pushing through. Again, that pretty much relies on it. Stacks and King on the other end of it, man. I mean, what can you do? This is where they've almost been forced back in the cell. Look how slow Vision Strikers are happy to play this now. Finally, we get towards yellow.
45 seconds now. This is arduous. Just a slog up a hill. Every step they look not necessarily nervous, but my word, are they aware of the problems? Yeah. Benkai just around that corner. Mindfreak's there. 30 seconds now
30
here.
seconds left.
The clock is starting to dwindle down. Spike gonna come in though. And those spams look real good. Yeah, Benkai's got it. Now there's a problem because they left it so late. 20 seconds on the board. Keep that in mind. Benkai again finds another. Vision Strikers, if you fumbled it at the final hurdle here. 13 seconds now. King's got the spike. He wants to get it down. He can't do it. 10 seconds. Forsaken's found him. And out of nowhere, they've just found that little spark to pull him back in. RB goes down. There is life in them yet.
They live to fight another day. 11-12 now. Paper X. Potential to force overtime here in map 2. And Vision Strikers, I gotta say, I didn't like a couple of rounds on Haven where they had that sort of approach where it was hesitant, cautious, whatever banner you want to put on it. And that right there is a perfect example. Paper X is so explosive in the response as soon as they come through. And again, with this lack of presence shown elsewhere, I think Paper X just slowly drift further and further towards being there to greet that Sage wall, to deny that plant, and put themselves back with a fighting chance.
Also, Paper X this time not sitting as deep, playing a little bit closer to early contact, which will mean Buzz could get a fight,
Blocking sight.
but they have backed away.
This time, actually, they're going to walk 8.
Get out of my
As 3, and this is on the back of King and Stacks being positioned here. A number of rounds are not being given or shown anything.
So deep from Benkai. And he knows that they can walk this to an extent. He's got to be aware, and there it is. That's what he was waiting for. He is as far as on an island as you can be in this. There's 5 players here against him. He needs to fall back,
Clean
give it
part.
up. This has to be a retake. Buzz has ult to play with as well. And away we go. Forsaken, the first to start taking strides here.
Striker's going to reset.
And there's no one on flank either.
Here.
Smoke goes in. Forsaken, first man forward. He's happy to be the tip of the spear. Utility drawn out. Timing is going to be very much of the essence. Forsaken wants to lean a little forward. Benkai did find Buzz. And actually, it Stacks to respond. Here we go. And now this is where the problems start to begin because it's just down to 2. Benkai and Mind Freak. They can't do it all. Is now Benkai called upon to try and save his side. A great wallbang, but 6 HP and 2 more to go. Vision Strikers have done enough.
Attackers win.